Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to talk about the energies of the divine masculine, or generally the masculine energies within each of us. Um, and by masculine energy, I mean the masculinity. I'm not referring to the male gender. Um, even females have masculine energies in them. So, post eclipse, I feel there was a shift in the energies of the divine masculine, and with Sun moving to Cancer, which is a feminine sign. It's the sign of the mother, it's a sign of home. Um, the energies are moving into um, the focus is actually moving into um, more of personal lives, the immediate environment, and families and home. And all the questions arising with planets in retrograde bring up questions, bring up opportunities for reflection and um, for giving us a chance to look at how far we have come and where we are right now. So, um, with Mars entering into Aries, Aries is a masculine sign, and um, the Sun in a feminine sign, and Venus is retrograde in Gemini, I believe, um, which is Venus is the planet of the divine feminine. There is a lot of movements and unrest in the energies of the masculine and feminine right now, and I think what I feel is that the focus is on perfecting these energies and finding a balance between the two at the end. Um, with the majority of divine masculines now waking up and going through their awakening process, going through um, the shifts and the changes and the opening of their crown chakras and their third eye chakras, these masculines or the masculine energy in us, I'm going to talk about the masculines as the divine masculines first. And even that is not gender related, that's the divine masculine energy. Whoever is resonating with the divine masculine energy, they are waking up um, to their truth. And what I feel is that every day that passes, it's becoming more difficult for these masculines to hide. Um, because so far in the masculine's life, in their lives, they were very prone to victimizing and um, feeling sorry for themselves are most of their lives, and using that to manipulate their environment, manipulate their surroundings. Whether this victim consciousness what came from their failures or abuse in their early life, or coming from narcissistic backgrounds, it doesn't matter. The source right now is not my focus. I'm talking about the shifting of this victim consciousness into um, becoming more aware, feeling more responsible for where they are and how they're feeling, and it kind of feels that these energies are pushing the masculine into a um, out of the closet basically, and into the open, into the sunlight. The masculines have been crawling in the dark for the longest time, and they have been hiding behind the thousand different masks that they wear for every occasion. and all the lies and deceits and manipulations that they have been living in for almost their entire life. Now suddenly with the eclipse, it's like all of that is in the spotlight now. Their entire life, their true self is in the spotlight, and their entire life is eclipsed out. Because eclipses are usually they are about closures. They are about burning out the dead wood, and the dead wood in the masculine's life is all those deceptions and the masks and the hiding and the old skin and the old paradigm that they were stuck in. And I feel that that energy, that chapter for them has closed or is closing right now, as we are still in the eclipse energies, and they feel naked and exposed. They feel very exposed, even if this is not affecting them socially in front of other people, but to them, they are exposed to themselves. It's as if they all their entire place is all mirror walls, and all they see is themselves. They can't hide anymore. And this is very uncomfortable for the masculines, because their source of comfort was that hiding behind the mask, was that hiding behind their failures, hiding behind that victim mentality, and making themselves and everybody around them feeling sorry for them in one way or another, or using their situations as tools of manipulation in order to get what they want. But now, with all that gone and burnt out due to the shift in energies, and the closing of karmic cycles, whether they wanted to close them or not, it doesn't matter. These karmic cycles, some of the masculines knowingly closed them, and some of them the universe pushed towers on them to close these cycles. And some of them are still for them to work on. But as these karmic cycles either come to light or close, these masculines feel naked and exposed, and it's like all their truth is on the table for them to look at. What I picture in my head is the universe having, it's like the interrogation room with a light above their head, um, and all their files, so many papers in front of them, and the universe is pushing their head down, and keeping their eyes open and asking them to look at it. Just look at yourself. Look at where you are. You have to look at yourself. You can't turn your head anymore. You can't hide anymore. And of course, this situation feels very pushy. It's uncomfortable. It's out of their comfort zone. It's breaking some of their old boundaries and constraints, and it's pretty much bringing the wall down. And with the divine feminines moving away from the masculines, and focusing on themselves and moving their lives forward, these masculines are they don't have any source of comfort anymore, and they don't have any basically source of energy to latch on to suck up the energy and continue with their karmic cycles. Now they have to actually, like I said, put their head down and look at themselves and look at where they are and how far they came, and the path they chose, and what's wrong with it, and where they want to go from now on. Um, with the divine feminines are currently in a better situation. They are the majority of feminines have detached from these connections, and they are focusing on themselves. They are some of them have picked up new careers. They might have started their own businesses, They might have entered new relationships, um, with soulmates or somebody they met. Some of them might be attracting new relationships to them. It's more that the feminine and energy is in a better situation, but it's not entirely that the feminines are out of these shifts. They are also dealing with um, some childhood wounds still coming up, and some uh, family issues to heal, and some past issues to heal. But personally, from what I feel, and what I feel for the collective, is that the feminine is uh, she is in a forgiving energy, and she has forgiven and let go and released. And I personally felt that the eclipse uh, closed a huge karmic cycle for me, and I'm sure it's a lot of the times that I feel these, it also proves that the collective felt it too. That the feminines are detached from the wounds of the past, and whether it's past lives or their past experiences with their counterpart, or their past experiences in their karmic cycles. And thinking about these past cycles is not hurtful anymore for the feminine, and the feminine has detached from it. They have released it, and they're clear, and they're free, and they're um, light. So they are able to manifest new things, and starting new cycles for themselves. But the masculine is still. Um, this reminds me of that penguin card, and I don't remember what uh, oracle deck or tarot deck that is, but it's in between the worlds, where half the picture is gray and half of it is colored. And that, I feel that's where the masculines are. They have one foot in the past and one foot into the present or future, and they are coming out of these old cycles and old wounds, and they are actually going through a very painful process. It's not easy to create change into your life, especially if that change is triggered by forces outside your control, which is the towers that the universe usually pushes onto stagnant cycles to create change. Um, and these cycles for the masculines could have been losing jobs, or losing money, or not being able to save money. A lot of I believe a lot of the issues that the masculines are dealing with are related to stability and financial constraints, and a sense of insecurity when it comes to providing and creating and financial support. So if these masculines are still in karmic cycles, it could be because of financial dependence on their family, or if they are in a karmic relationship, it could be because of money. It could be because of financial ties. If they are in marriages, um, either they're going through divorce, or they're thinking about it, or if they are in a marriage that's not working anymore. I believe what's keeping it together, or keeping it in a repeating cycle, is the dependence, the financial component of the relationship. I don't I don't believe that the masculine's environment is loving and supportive. I believe it's more a sense of dependence, and um, a feeling of being stuck, or feeling of being in control, like controlled by their environment, or chained to their environment because of these financial issues. And these environments could be their jobs, their current jobs. They may not be entirely satisfied at their workplaces, but they need to continue, or they feel the need to continue because their job pays for their bills, pays for their rents, pays for their life. which creates a huge deal of sadness. And a lot of them, I don't think, not every masculine out there knows where their sadness is rooted from. Not all of them realize that it's their work environment that is keeping them in low vibration, and it's a source of their exhaustion and sadness, and the lack of abundance, and the lack of um, things being manifested, money coming in. It's because these jobs are not aligned with their soul purpose, with their divine path, and they are only keeping themselves stuck in these situations because of the income, because they are dependent on the income, or if they are supporting a family, the family is dependent on that income. But like I said, with the shifts, I feel that as they are awakening to their truth, and to their purpose, and to their life, and feeling the absence of the warmth and love that was provided to them by the divine feminines, they are feeling that lack, and they are. I think that that was a huge trigger for the masculines, the absence of the divine feminine, and the absence of that source of comfort and security and assurance, that every time they lack, they just either energetically tapped into the feminine, or they would just run back and forth into the connection, one way or another, to get their fix of the energy, and steal it pretty much, to go back into their karmic cycles and feed it there. um, but with the feminines withdrawing their energies and their love and their affection, these masculines don't have a source of energy anymore to feed into their karmic situations, uh, and because these are toxic environments, these are, at best, they're not in alignment. If they're not toxic, they're not in alignment. um, these are old, outdated cycles that need to close, and a lot of, I feel right now, um, as the masculines are awakening and realizing their truth, they are also realizing that these cycles are repeating cycles, and they need to put an end into this karma that is surrounding them. And what I feel is that a lot of masculines are going through a lot of sleepless nights, and a lot of anxiety, and maybe a lot of fear, fear of the future, feeling a severe sense of lack, um, being afraid that their resources are going to diminish if they don't, if they can't find a better job, or if they can't increase their salaries, or their make a bigger paycheck, or if they can't save. um, they are, I think, the the main focus of the divine masculine right now is um, a sense of stability, financial stability, and material, the material side of life, when it comes to their houses, to their money, to their jobs, and a sense of providing. But I feel that up to now, these masculines were feeding that um, into their karmic cycles, but recently, past the eclipse, and around the eclipse time, I feel a lot of these masculines have been thinking about their future, and some of them even, they have realized that they want the future with the feminine, and they want to build their their foundation for that, for the connection. So it's not all that they are worried about these foundations because of their karmic cycles, but um, they are worried that if they can't get it together, they won't be able to come back to you and offer you anything. A lot of these masculines feel that they don't have enough to offer to you, especially if you as a divine feminine have if you're stable, if you have if your energy is grounded, if you have made a good life for yourself, or if you feel you don't have to be rich or you don't have to be well off, but if you feel stable and if you feel balanced, your masculine will feel that. And I think that this sense of stability in the divine feminine is kind of scaring the masculines a little bit, and it's making them. I feel that it's making them feel a little bit insecure in themselves and feeling that they may not have enough to offer you. And I think a lot of them might even ask the question to themselves that what would she need from me? Like, what do I have to give to her? That where do I belong in her life? Where exactly do I fit into her life? If I Because they look at themselves and they look at you, and I can tell that right now a lot of the masculines are not um, energetically aligned with you. Even if they have everything that you may need to start a new life, they don't feel um, quite balanced. They don't feel quite um, secure in themselves. They don't see themselves capable of providing what they think you deserve. And I think this is something that the masculine needs um, to work on. It's the knowing that stability is not a factor of how much you have. It's stability is a state of mind, and it's a state of heart. Um, Stability comes from the root chakra. It comes from um, feeling. It's a feeling inside. It's not coming from the outside factors like money or houses or belongings, because I've known people that had everything and they still didn't feel stable, or they still felt that they were not able to commit to a relationship, or they still felt that they needed more. um, and a lot of families are still hanging on with such little, but they are stable and they are balanced. So like I said, it comes from an underdeveloped or a blocked root chakra, uh, a sense of insecurity and instability and um, lack of balance in the material aspect of things. So I think that's what the masculine needs to work on. They need to believe in themselves, and they need to believe that um, they don't need to be 100% perfect in order to start their next chapter in their life. They need to just trust that they have enough uh, to get go, and what they need they can build and they can work on. And it's about what they choose. Um, they need to choose themselves. They need to choose their heart, what comes from their intuition. I mentioned in my previous posts that a lot of masculines are uh, blocking their third eye chakra, their intuition, the voice inside that is telling them to go after their true heart desire. Their true heart desire is a home. Um, it's a sense of belonging. It's love. It's wanting to provide. The masculine energy, the healthy masculine energy, wants to support. It wants to provide. It wants to protect, and these masculines need an environment where these feelings can thrive, where these feelings can blossom and grow. And to them, the feminine is that it's she's that environment, she's home for them, and she's someone that they want to provide for and they want to give to. um, but this sense of instability is blocking them from that. um, I feel a lot of masculines are uh, in very low vibrations. It's like they are on a roller coaster right now. One day they can wake up all hopeful and happy and upbeat. They're awakened. They know what's going on around them, and it's like that rush of uh, optimistic energy. They feel like they own the world, and we have been there as feminines also when we first awakened, where you think like you got it. You think you know everything, and you are in peace with your environment because you know, and that sense of knowing is such a victorious feeling. But the next day you can just wake up and you just feel like you don't have enough. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what to do, or even if you know what to do, you don't feel strong enough to do that. And the whole awakening process takes a lot of energy um, out of you, out of your body. A lot of days you might just want to sleep. There's a lot of crying when and purging, um, which masculines may not be comfortable with, especially for male masculines. Crying for men um, is usually a taboo in our society, and these masculines may feel very isolated and alone when all this purging happens. Um, but if you're a masculine listening to my post right now, I just want you to know that it's okay to purge. It's a lot of past life issues coming up for you. It's a lot of the sense of failures, all the wrong mistakes. I mean, the wrong choices, the mistakes of the past, all the heavy energy that is stuck in you needs to burst. It's like you're living in a bubble in your own tower with a lot of defective blockages that need to collapse in order for you to be free. And a lot of that happens with purging and crying and outbursts of anger and um, feeling frustrated and agitated, and that is okay. That's normal, that's natural, and feminines have gone through that process as well. And just trust yourself that you will get out of it um, a lot happier than where you were before then. When I look at the ground I covered in the past year, I am in a much more stable, happy, healthy place right now that I was last year this time. Last year this time I was very attached. I was codependent. I was very obsessed, and I wanted to keep my connection no matter what. And I didn't trust and I didn't believe in my masculine um, that he could be better, and I wanted to make things better myself. I was a fighter, and I didn't know how to receive. And the whole awakening process for the feminines is about that. It's about practicing femininity and putting ourselves into um, a sense of receiving instead of giving. And once you're ready to receive, once you train yourself into receiving those energies, you balance that feminine energy inside you. So this is what the masculines are doing as a mirroring of that, as a mirroring of the feminine awakening, is that they have to work on their masculine energies. They have to develop the masculine energy, the healthy masculine energy, because the divine masculines had a huge unbalance in the feminine and masculine energies. They were in the receiving part. They were getting, sucking all the energy out of the feminines and out of their environments, out of their families, out of their friends. They were they were not giving anything, or if they were giving it into karmic toxic cycles. So what needs to balance is that the feminine energy is practicing healthy femininity for post awakening and post this eclipse, and the masculine is trying to find that healthy masculinity inside themselves. And with that, in order to achieve that, you as a masculine, you need to believe in yourself, and you need to trust that you are enough, you're good enough, you are beautiful, you are a full human being. And you should not let your mistakes and your failures to define you. We are all coming down here to this planet in this 3D form of life to experience life, to experience things, to learn lessons, and to grow our souls. And the mistakes that you make, the failures, the choices that you have made throughout your life or throughout your past lives, all the karma that's on your plate, it is your karma to deal with. It's like your homework. When you go to school, the amount of homework that you have to do doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define your character. It doesn't define your personality. That's the same with karma and with your whatever you did so far in your life. What matters is to stay strong and not let that define you, and not let anybody in your circle, in your tribe, in your gang, your people around you. Don't let anybody define you by your choices and your past mistakes and your failures, and don't let anybody push you down. Especially don't let your own thoughts to do that to you, and don't get stuck into your own head, thinking that you can't do, because you can. You are a complete human being. You are capable of creating your own future and creating your own destiny. And by believing that, you just tell the universe that you're ready to receive abundance from them. Because if you stay in negative energy and you keep telling yourself that you don't have enough, that's what you get. It's I keep repeating in every post that it's the law of attraction. Whatever you give, it's a law of give and take. It's a cause and effect. Whatever you put out there, it's what you receive. If you put the energy of lack mentality, victim mentality, oh, I don't have enough, I'm not gonna do well, negativity, pessimism, and low vibrations, that's what the universe is gonna throw at you. If you tell the universe that's all you deserve, that's all you can do, you can just sit in your corner of your room and cry for yourself and feel sorry for yourself forever, it's never gonna change. Things never gonna change. I can promise you, as somebody that has gone through this path and has watched other divine feminines have gone through this path, is believe in yourself and trust yourself and choose yourself no matter what. Choose what your heart is telling you. Choose that inner voice, and be able to distinguish between the voice of your soul and the voice of your ego. The voice of your ego is usually associated with fear, with pride, with anger, with self-righteousness, and it usually it corners you into a situation that it gets very tough to get out of. But your soul is very liberating. It wants to set you free, and it's usually talking about doing things and taking a path that might be out of your comfort zone. um, and that's what your usually that's the north, that's where the north node is. And in another post I talk about the south node and north node in our birth charts, and what that means when it comes to awakening and taking our divine path. But for now, the post eclipse energies, I feel that the masculines are feeling naked and exposed. They feel um, vulnerable. They feel like they want to cry. They feel happy one day and sad another day. Their energy is very up and down. um, they don't lack is they lack very a sense of security and stability, and it's like all over the place for them right now. But the good news is that they know, and it's they can't hide anymore. They can't pretend that they don't know. They can't manipulate themselves anymore. They can't lie to themselves, and because they can't lie to themselves, they can't lie to their environment either. And as they awaken, and their energies shift, they also feel a sense of detachment from people around them. Suddenly, these people start feeling weird, and they feel like they don't belong anymore. And a lot of these ties don't mean anything. A lot of times, these masculines could be in an environment where people are talking or gossiping um, or saying something, and these masculines could be totally absent-minded. I feel that they're losing interest in what is around them, and they are more interested in finding their own path and where they want to go. And um, energetically, this puts them in a better alignment with the feminine as well. Um, so that's pretty much it for now. I just, as a final note, I just want to mention to you, if you are a divine feminine, that um, things are looking up for you in the month of Cancer, in the month of uh, end of June, mid July. Um, this is a very feminine month. It's a month of mother. It's about maternal energies. So take advantage of this time to manifest for yourself and heal your toxic femininity inside you to get into a healthier place. And for the masculines, this is a time of balancing the feminine and masculine energy inside them, and get into a more action oriented mindset, instead of just sit in a corner and feeling sorry for yourself. Because now you know, your eyes are open, you know what you want, you know how you feel, you know where you need to go, and you can't hide anymore. There is nowhere to hide, and your feminine reads you. You're transparent. Your everything about you is visible. um, it's out in the open. It's in the spotlight for you to look at and to pay attention to, and to do something about it. So the time of going and hiding under the bed and pretending you're um, the poorest person out there, and everybody should feel sorry for you, and everybody should give to you and serve you, that time is up. Sorry guys, but you have to man up and take ownership of your life. And the universe, if you resist, it's just gonna be harder. The universe is gonna push you harder. So if you release and just go with the flow, you will end up where you need to be. So I hope this helped for now, and next time I am going to talk about the north and south, the north node and south node in the birth charts, and where we all need to be going into our divine path. So take care and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.